Hello and welcome to a video with me, Raindell. Today we're doing an arena video and we're showcasing Oldoa and Xiza EX as flanking partners going on both sides of the battlefield and trying to pinch or attack whoever is in the enemy team. And we'll be fighting mainly Yuna and light magic teams because that's what's everywhere in the arena right now. Contrary to most of our arena videos, we're not going to go very high into arena rankings because I don't want to bother pushing very high right now. I don't have the most recent units and the most recent vision cards, so I don't really have all those bonus points. And then also, right now, I feel like every enemy team is the same, so arena is a little bit more boring for me. So instead of going for points, I want to build teams that are fun and try them out just because it's enjoyable. So that's what we're doing today. So what we will do is we're going to use Xiza EX and Oldoa EX. So their roles are very similar. They want to avoid the center, use a TP skill on turn 1. Xiza will use Revitalize, while Oldoa will use Ketone's TMR to get a bit more movement, so that in their second turn they can ideally get to the enemy team and probably one-shot someone because they have a lot of damage with their EX jobs. Then our third member. I'm going to be using Fryevia because I don't use her a lot and I think she's a super fun unit. But for those who don't have her, she could very easily be replaced by Whisper, by Winter Venera, by Ildyra even. You just need a Spellblade and somebody with a high magic resistance to fill this role. So I did put a couple images there. I'll be using Fryevia, but people often ask me if they can swap someone and still let the team work, or how I'm thinking when I'm building teams. And in most cases, I'm not going for a specific unit when I build a team, but instead, I'm going for a specific role and a specific way that I want my team to behave. So in this case, what I want is someone with high magic resist, to whom I will give Innate Hate using Vow of Love. So doesn't matter who it is, as long as they fit those conditions. So with that said, let's go and take a look at our team. And I'm now in the right formation, so this is what we'll be using. I guess the first person to introduce to you is Fryevia. She has quite a bit of HP, low defenses overall, low magic. She is mainly there because of one thing, and one thing only. 92% base magic resistance. She can take attacks from Yuna and Sakura all day, and she doesn't care much for those because she has almost immunity, and that is without any buffs. So she doesn't need her Spellblade sub-job because she has enough defense with this. That means we get a Spellblade with some okay-ish attacks, but mainly access to White Mage and full life, so she can do a couple nice things with those. So that's what we're running. And how did we get to that high magic resistance score? Well, we're running 2 passives for magic resist. We're running a Soul of Thamasa, which gives plus 8%. We have Aigaion for another 15%. And then Fenrir for another 20%. So all those on top of her base resist gets her to 92 pre-buffs. So that's the first character. Then we have Oldoa. In the first match, I'm not running this card. I actually tried the Cherry Blossom Banquet card, but she didn't do enough damage, so I went back to this from the second match onwards. And what Oldoa does is she just rushes forward and tries to kill people. In my previous Oldoa video, I was using her own TMR, which gave her defense piercing, which is very good. But in this match, we're not going to be targeting teams with very tanky characters. We're going against mages, so I don't feel the need for defense penetration to be able to one-shot people. And also, with the extra mobility from Ketone's TMR, she can get to the enemy in her second turn instead of her third turn, so that's a lot of extra utility. In order to have her use it though, I had to turn off Hazard Form and also turn off Rebellious Spirit because for some reason her AI was using this TMR as a last buff when she has nothing else available. So that's what's going on. And then with the use of the Armor of Light and the Fenrir Esper, we actually have a positive magic resistance, so we are not entirely squishy. Since we don't have a very high faith, we might be able to survive a couple hits from magic attackers, but definitely it's not an ideal scenario. We still want Fryevia to take those hits as frequently as possible. So that's it for her. And then Xiza, she's only at 114, but I did go all the way in her EX job, so she has access to all of her abilities, and almost 1000 attack, which is pretty good. She's a thief, but honestly, you won't see her thief skills in action here, because if she's in range to attack, she will be using her brand new Monk EX job ability, which is the Debilitating Fist. It's only level 10, but it frequently one-shots enemies, so it's very impressive even at that level. So that's what we'll be seeing in action today. And then I tried to give her as much magic resistance as I could, but even with the Tidus's necklace, she doesn't have that much. I could get her to 20% by giving her Fenrir, but I preferred to giving her a bit more damage by using Golem and Man-Eater, because Fenrir gives slash attack up and she doesn't really benefit from that. So that's my thinking here. So we saw the team, let's go in battle. Alright, so here we are in front of our first match, and we're fighting Garvall, Warrior of Light, and Yuna. The way these matches are going to go for basically every team that we fight, as long as we're fighting magic teams, is as long as these guys hit Fryevia, we're fine. The minute they begin hitting someone else, we're in big trouble. And then Garvall's a bit of an exception because since he has the ability to use missile attacks, he might be able to kill Fryevia pretty easily if he hits her with this. So we are very much hoping that he will hit her with some other abilities rather than this. And we are having a pretty rough beginning where Fryevia is sitting next to Oldoa, but fortunately enough, we don't have an enemy in range of hitting us with the limit break. So that's a good start. We're in a position where we almost one-shot Warrior of Light. Garvall can use the missile attack, so that actually hurts us quite a bit. And then Oldoa does a surprisingly low amount of damage to Yuna, but does manage to take her out. That's also a test. With our current team, I'm not sure how much damage Oldoa can actually do, because she doesn't have all the great vision cards that we're usually using on her. So she might be doing a lot less damage than usual, and we might end up switching her card back to her usual. But at the end of the day, we do end up winning this first fight, so not a bad performance from our team. Alright, this time it's an interesting enemy squad. So, 2 mages and a 120 Mont, and I have not had the chance to fight 120 Mont that often. I feel like most people are spending their EX job material on UR units, so even I haven't built Mont very far into his EX job. So I'm curious to see him in action. And Xiza does have some defense penetration now, so she should be able to hit him at least a little bit. So Fryevia uses Fleet of Foot, moves forward a little bit, and I could have Fryevia use the Magic Barrier by turning off Fleet of Foot, but honestly, she's taking so low damage from those enemy Yunas that I'm not very scared. I do not like Oldoa getting hit, but that's not the end of the world because Ildyra isn't strong enough to one-punch her. With all the magic resist we're scaling, even Oldoa has a positive magic resistance right now, so while it's not very high, she's probably not going to get one-shot by people other than Yuna and Sakura. So here we go, launch, takes out Yuna pretty quickly, and now... Oh, unfortunately she's not in range, but next turn we'll see her finally attack, so I'm curious to see that in action. So our tank keeps everybody full HP, and at that point the battle is pretty much decided, but... Alright, a miss. Oldoa is not built for evasion on our team, so that's the difference in luck for our an EX unit compared to a normal one. So let's see, we have Store, and we have defense penetration a little bit. And we hit him for 4,000. That's pretty impressive considering how tanky 120 Mont is. So yeah, and then he hits us back for a pretty high amount of damage as well. So you can tell that he can do damage. Now Fryevia should hit him for a decent amount of as well. She has, well, it's a magic-based attack, and Mont is not resistant to magic. So there we go, he's out, and that is another win. Okay, this match I'm actually scared of. The enemy Yuna is not in front, the enemy Sakura is in front, so that means she might be able to throw a limit break and hit our Oldoa. And then Auron, we are not resistant against what he does, because most of our team is built for magic resistance. So he'll probably tear through our team pretty easily, but at least it's not 120 Auron. So we might have a shot at killing him pretty early as well, depending on how it goes. So Xiza begins flanking, the enemy team begins casting their re-raise, and at that point, yeah, Oldoa is moving forward and will get Sakura's limit break, probably. Hopefully she doesn't go down from that. She doesn't have a ton of faith, so damage is mitigated a little bit from that. And she dodges one hit, which I think is an important part of why she survived. So far, so good. But Yuna's gonna get a turn. Is she in range to attack? I don't think so. I also hope not, because that will definitely kill Oldoa. Okay, yes, she is in range. Very unfortunate. So that means we're losing Oldoa before she attacks. And that might mean we lose 8,000 damage. Yeah, Yuna is very strong. So at that point, Xiza's not in position. She has the flank, though. Hopefully, okay, she does not go down, so that's good. And now they should all be in range to have a hate and attack Fryevia. And Rebel Intention, I'm not that scared of, because it's a magic attack. So far, so good. One down. Is that the full life? Yes, it is. So Oldoa is coming back, and Oldoa, oh, she's not coming back. No, that's tragic. So, yeah, now the match just took a turn for the worse when our full life fails and theirs succeeds. Hopefully Xiza moves afterwards, because I think she's staying in AoE range. There we go. So she was intelligent enough to move after her attack, which means that Sakura will probably not hit both of our guys. That is very important. This here is the last hit while Fryevia has hate. So now they're going to start concentrating their attacks on Xiza and probably taking her out pretty quickly. But Xiza can also take people out pretty quickly, as you can tell. So far, all of her attacks have been one-hit kills. This, though, will kill her. So can low HP Fryevia fight level 120 Yuna? Now, we know Yuna can't really hit Fryevia so hard, but she also has a very high amount of AP, so she can keep casting basically forever. So it's kind of a fight of which healer out-tanks the other, and so far, unless we make Yuna run out of attack, I think she's gonna end up winning this. But let's see. Fryevia finally gets a turn on the offensive and uses Blizzaga Blade, which will probably do, yeah, I was thinking about around 3,000, so it's not going that well for us here. Our best chance is to win by turns running out while we're healing. Another attack. Oh, the stun. That is tragic. So she they managed to stun us twice using that Kotonama wielder ability. That's actually pretty surprising. And then keep in mind, Fryevia has 92% magic resistance, and she's still getting hit for over 1,000 damage all the time. That means that these would be 10,000 damage attacks if she didn't have those resistances. So, yeah, pretty impressive damage overall. So we get another turn, and we manage to heal right before the timer runs out. Will this be a win because of the timer? Yes, it is. Alright, I'm not gonna complain about this lucky turn of events at the end. Alright, let's go for a final match here. Sakura, Garvall, and Yuna. And again, very threatening team. They might kill everybody except Fryevia easily. And Garvall can actually kill Fryevia with his missile attacks. So we could be in trouble. I find that in this match, my main issue is that my characters group, and sometimes our damage dealers will die next to our tank just because they group together too quickly. So once again, Oldoa will take an attack from Sakura, and hopefully we survive it, but it's not a guarantee by any means. That's part of the reason why Fryevia is here as a white mage sub, because she can possibly bring people back to life. Okay, so we barely survive, but we do make it. The extra HP is really clutch here. So, range missile attack, that unfortunately does hit us pretty hard. And Oldoa decides to use her limit break. We don't see this very often. So that's going to break defense and do a ton of damage. And it is enough to one-shot the enemy Yuna, so good for us. And then this guy has a physical barrier, so he does survive the attack from Xiza, so not good. Then this might not kill Fryevia, again because she has so much resistance, she barely takes any damage. So she's able to heal back. And we're not speccing our team for a lot of magic. If we were, her heals would do a lot more. But you can tell now that our tank is doing her job pretty well. So Xiza kills another person, Re-Raise goes off, and then it's finally Oldoa's turn, but she doesn't have any AP, so normal attack. If she was had enough HP, she would have used Killing Axe and probably just taken out both characters. Now Garvall gets another turn, but there's no more hate, so he's able to take out Xiza. That's not fun, but at least Oldoa's there for revenge, and we end up winning. This team seems to be doing pretty well, as long as they don't group. Alright guys, so I had a lot of fun recording this, honestly. I know it's not the highest level PvP, but those were still entertaining fights, and I tried picking enemies that were strong, even though they weren't ranked very high. So hopefully you guys found it interesting. And right now, I'm kind of struggling with my PvP videos because I have a lot of MRs at 89 that I want to showcase, but I find that throwing them against level 120 Yuna doesn't really work as well as I would want it to. So if you have any requests, I know I have some people who requested a video for Vinera and for Gilgamesh, and I'm having those in the works right now. But if there are other units you want to see and other builds or just ideas for teams that you want to throw my way, please do so, because I am more than willing to try out a couple new things right now, since that's what's keeping the arena interesting for me. So, thank you so much for your time. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And then, as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.